Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today I want to tell you about the 10 by 10 gaming challenge that my wife and I are going to take on for 2022. Our goal is to play 10 different games, 10 times a piece minimum over the next 12 months. And we're going to try to schedule it kind of month by month, although we won't restrict ourselves to that. So I'm going to go month by month and tell you what 10 games we're planning on playing in 2022, 10 times each. All right, so in January, we're actually about halfway through the month of January, and we've already been playing this one, and it is Robin Hood or The Adventures of Robin Hood. It's a Michael Menzel game by Cosmos Games, and we're about 5 chapters into this one, so we've already played it 5 times. Really loving this game. It's a pretty simple game, but beautiful art. Love the storytelling that we're experiencing here. Really easy to jump right in. I love the tutorial onboarding that they have. So I'm going to be doing a review for this one pretty soon now that we've already played it several times. But this one we're hoping to play at least 10 times by the end of January. And the way we're going, it might even be by the end of the next week or two. Well, I guess that'll be about the end of January. But that's our goal. 10 times of this one. We're about halfway through already for The Adventures of Robin Hood. Then once we're finished with that one, probably end of January, beginning of February, we're hoping to jump back into Role Player Adventures. And Role Player Adventures is a Thunderworks game that I've mentioned a few times and I've done an unboxing for and a reboxing for. We're really loving the stories in this one. We're a few chapters in on this one as well, but after we finish Robin Hood, we're going to try to jump into this one and just plow our way through the rest of the campaigns or chapters or scenarios in this one. And so hopefully by the end of February, we'll have played this one at least 10 times, Role Player Adventures. Then in March, we're hoping to go back to kind of a classic one for us, and that is Seventh Continent by Serious Pulp Games. And Seventh Continent is one where you're laying out cards to build a map as you go. There's sort of the fog of war of flipping the cards over. And we played through one curse a couple of times and weren't successful. And then later found out you really are recommended to start with some other curses, not so much by the rule book, but by just people on boardgamegeek. So we're going to go back in and try several different curses. And hopefully in March we can get at least 10 games of Seventh Continent under our belt. Then in May, because I think Seventh Continent is probably going to take us kind of March and April, and then April and May, we're going to try to get back into Destinies. And Destinies is a Lucky Duck Games. And we've played a couple of chapters of this one, but I backed the Kickstarter, so we've got all of it in hand. And so we'll be looking forward to going through the Seas of Sand and Myth and Folklore. And we're not even finished with the base game scenarios either. So we'll try to get back into this one, hopefully in May, April, kind of as we finish up that Seventh Continent selection. So really focusing in on campaign games this year, as you can tell in our 10 by 10 challenge. So Destinies by Lucky Duck Games is the next one on our list. And then hopefully around the break of summer, end of May, beginning of June, we want to get into Aeon's End Legacy. Now, this was gifted to us by some friends, and we might even start playing it early. We'll see. It is nice that at this point in our lives, we do have an ability to leave some games out, so we might have a couple of them going on at once. But we've only played one other Legacy game, Pandemic Season 0. And so we're really excited to try this one and think that we played Aeon's End with us. They taught us how to play the regular game. And so now we're excited to dive into this co-op legacy version of Aeon's End and see what that's like. So hopefully, like I said, starting off our summer, end of May, beginning of June with Aeon's End Legacy. All right, then another one we're going to try to finish during the summer, June, July, is actually a trilogy of games. And it's not so much of a campaign legacy style like you see most of these, but it's a trilogy of games. And that is the Arzium trilogy. So we've played Above and Below a number of times, but it's been a while. We own Near and Far and have never played it. And I've play tested Now or Never, and I've pre-ordered it. Hopefully it's going to be coming soon. And we also hope to maybe do a collaborative review of Now or Never with Better Half Reviews, because I was able to pre-test or play test it with them months ago, about a year ago now. And that was how we first kind of met. So that'd be cool to be able to do a collaborative review on that. But anyway, we want to play that trilogy, so we got to play Above and Below again, and then we want to get Near and Far back or to the table for the first time because we haven't played this. And I know there's some campaign elements of this, and then hopefully we'll have Now or Never by the beginning of summer at least, and we can get that third game in the trilogy played and kind of see how the thread of a story from Above and Below into Near and Far, and then Now or Never kind of plays out. I also backed the Arzium documentary video, and so we're also going to watch that either before then or during the playing of those games, just to kind of see the backstory of Ryan Lockett and Mallory Lockett and how they developed this world of Arzium. Then as we close out the summer and start moving into the school year, we want to take on Scythe, The Rise of Fenris. Now, the Scythe game I've played myself, but my wife hasn't ever. And but I think as a campaign style, she might enjoy it a little bit more. And I have everything Scythe, but I don't play it as much because she's just never jumped into it. So I'm hoping that she said she's happy to try it. And so I'm hoping that she'll jump in, we'll enjoy it, we'll go through this campaign, The Rise of Fenris, and then maybe get that to the table a little more frequently because yeah, I'm fine playing it solo, but I always enjoy playing games with others more. So hopefully we can do that and really enjoy our month of August, end of July, August with Scythe and The Rise of Fenris. Then as we're fully into the school year and fall, hopefully we can jump into Forgotten Waters. Now, Forgotten Waters is by Plaid Hat Games, and we've played a couple of chapters of this, but it's probably been almost a year ago now. We haven't gotten it back to the table in quite a while. We love the crossroads systems of this where you use the app, and we love the voice acting that tells the story. It's hilarious. The stories are hilarious. The game is fun and challenging. A nice co-op game. So we're hoping to get this one back. I know there's a new DLC you can order with different campaigns. So by the time we get to September, I'm sure that we'll have had a chance to download those and really run through at least getting 10 plays of this one in this year of 2022. And then as we break into October, November, we're hoping to get to Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth. And I was thinking about that for the fall because the first time we played it was not this November, but the last November. So it's been over a year since we played it. But we played it at my brother's house, and it was my son and my wife and my brother and I, and we just had a blast. We put it up on the big screen TV for all the app integration part of it and just really loved it. But then just haven't gotten it back to the table. And so again, now that we've got a table, we can leave it set up and play. That's part of the reason we want to really get into these campaign games this year, just not leave them sitting on ourselves unplayed and so many storylines never unfolded. So I don't know if we'll go beyond this base game, if we'll end up investing in one or more of the expansions that have come out now. I know there's I think it's the Shadow Paths or something expansion that's been out. And I think there's Spreading War, I think, is the new one that's coming out soon. So I don't know if we'll end up investing in those or not, but there's plenty of gameplay in this one, along with, I think, some DLC games through the app that we could add. So hopefully around the October, November kind of Thanksgiving break, who knows, maybe even be able to get back over to my brother's house and play a few games with him again around that Thanksgiving holiday. And then wrapping up the year, we want to get back to Sleeping Gods, another Ryan Lockett Red Raven Games product. And we've played Sleeping Gods, and I've actually done a review. We've put a number of hours into this one, but there's just so much to explore. And so since this is one of the ones we put the most hours into already, we're going to push that more towards the end of the year. But we haven't even touched I think it's the tides or something about tides. And then there's dungeons and caves or something. There's several expansions that I haven't even opened. So there's much more to go in this base box. And then in addition to that, all those other expansions that we got with the Kickstarter. So want to come back to this, but we'll put this one more towards the end of the year, and that is Sleeping Gods. So those are the 10 games we want to play 10 times each at least over the year of 2022, and also kind of the schedule we're going to try to follow. So part of my goal for this year is as we complete each campaign, or at least as we reach that 10 plays, I'd like to do a review and kind of not just a review of the game itself, but a review of what it felt like to complete that campaign or complete that legacy game. And so that'll be something that I'm hoping to do throughout the year, kind of month by month on the channel for those 10 games, or roughly month by month. Now, there is another one that I don't know. It was kind of an honorable mention in the sense that it was strongly considered, and that is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Now, this is one that we were really talking about, should we do this one? Because I played it solo, but my wife hasn't played. And so it was strongly considered, but then a friend of mine just recently asked if I would start playing on Tuesday nights the regular Gloomhaven with he and another friend. And so I think we're going to be going through that on kind of a game night with some of my buddies. And so we decided, well, let's hold off on this one for now and get those other ones, because I think I want to have my full fill of Gloomhaven with the main big box. But this is one that I do own. I've played several games of it solo, but I would like to bring it back to the table and also play that again with my wife at some time. So that was kind of on the cusp, almost made it. Who knows, maybe will play it a couple times this year, but that's not part of the challenge, but was really close to making the cut. And like I said, I wanted to mention it because I will be going through, hopefully over the next year or so, all of Gloomhaven with my friends that we're going to be doing that together. All right, so there you have it. That is my 10 by 10 challenge, what my wife and I hope to play in 2022, and probably some of these games with friends, because you don't have to, for some of them, have the same group all the time. So we'll hopefully be able to play not only just my wife and I, but also with some friends and family members throughout the year as well. So if you enjoyed hearing about my 10 by 10 challenge, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up down below. And it'd be terrific if you would choose to subscribe to the channel. If you're setting a challenge for yourself this year, what are some of the games you hope to play? Or what is the challenge that you're trying to accomplish in 2022? If you've played some of these games, tell me what are your favorites. And if you want to ask some questions about some, I've played most of them at least a little bit. So you can ask questions down below and I'd be glad to get back to those as well. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy, Indiana, signing off.